Dad, there's braided cables coming out of the back of this. Can you unplug them? There's like 2 gray cables, yeah.
Just pull them out?
Yep. Okay. I didn't want to like nudge this mouse because it's in the perfect spot.
Just take them out.
Yeah, just drop them.
Who you running over, Chancellor?
That's Brian. He's Graphical Bear. No, someone hit a spare. That's why his name's Graphical Bear.
Is he walking?
Yeah. He's walking. No, I think he's just doing it himself. We're all congregating.
I looked like there were about 30 people that were doing it.
Run them over. That's the default skin.
Little what skin?
The default one. I guess I gotta do the walk. Hold on.
All right, guys, the walk is just about to begin. I'm just going to give y'all a quick rundown again. So we're going to have the speakers come out onto the stage first, followed by the rest of the graduates. All the graduates just take a seat out in front of the stage.
So yeah, this view is what the stream will be.
Oh, cool. I was about to say, we're waiting for the live stream.
Should be live.
Is everyone ready? All right, and start the music. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
I can hear you, Ivan.
Hear you, but the music is really loud, dude.
All right. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the 2020 University of Georgia virtual graduation ceremony. I know things have been a little bit rocky, but I thank you all for cooperating and helping this to happen. So I am Ivan Campbell, and for the past few months, our team has been working on this reconstruction of Sanford Stadium so that we could congratulate you, the class of 2020, during this unprecedented time. Over this time, you've all been called resilient, brave, strong, and many other words of praise for your sacrifice, and this is all true. I know that not being able to experience your graduation as planned must hurt many of you, even though you will have a real graduation later this year. But I want to assure you that your sacrifice has not gone unnoticed by me and many others, and that your accomplishments are still hard-won and impressive. You've worked hard, made sacrifices, experienced ups and downs, had tragedies and elations, and all that has led you here. Each one of us hopes that you feel the entire Bulldog Nation supporting you this evening, and that you, the class of 2020, are honored for your accomplishment. First of all, I would like to thank those of us who've spent our time and dedication to making this event the best it could be. So to all the people that I am about to list, you may come up onto the stage if you do desire. So these people include Nick Lefty Miller. If you would like to come up onto the stage, you don't have to, but okay. Ganesh Sankar. Nate Harris. Andy Echeverria. Nimsy Correa. Grant Nuts Sloan. Dylan Thompson. And Sammy Jandali. All of these people that I have just listed have been a tremendous help to us in this recreation of Sanford Stadium. They have all worked really, really hard on making this event happen, so just give them a round of applause from wherever you are. They really deserve it. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. So, next, I would like to thank our speakers this evening enough to speak to you despite these odd circumstances. They all came out of their own goodwill, and I'm really, really glad that they chose to speak to us tonight. So, thank you to Dr. Smith, Dr. Whitehead, and thank you to our student speaker for the evening, Sammy Jandali. Thank you all. And lastly, I would like to thank you, the class of 2020, and to all of your friends and relatives who are watching on the live stream, who took the time out of this so that we could get a celebration. So now on to this. I would like to officially welcome the first speaker of the night, Dr. Travis Whitehead, a UGA alumnus. Would you please take the podium?
President Moorhead, faculty, staff, and students, I am honored to have been asked to deliver the commencement speech for the 2020 University of Georgia virtual graduation. I stand here tonight as a former UGA student from the class of 1989. I am an emergency room physician currently dealing with the silent enemy that forced all of us into virtual graduation world. My nephew Ivan Campbell and his friend Nick Miller came up with the idea of Minecraft graduation. With a group of their friends, they invited me to play a part in your special night. I am blessed to be in such great company. My name is Travis David Whitehead. I am from the classic city of Athens, Georgia. I attended Madison County High School down the road, and my dad was my principal. I applied to Georgia because it was tradition. My father went to Georgia, as did his father before. I graduated with a degree in microbiology and decided to pursue medicine. I went to medical school at Mercer and met my wife in Connecticut during medical training at Yale in Connecticut. She was from California, but I eventually brought her down south and asked her to marry me on the campus at the first and oldest garden club in the United States. Part of the stipulation was that when we had children, they would attend the University of Georgia. Thank God she agreed. We currently have our oldest 5 of 9 children attending UGA, one of which is graduating today. Shout out to Miley. 2020 was going to be a new beginning with a new decade, a truly inspiring year, because it is the only year that you're likely to live through where the first 2 digits will match the second 2 digits. I know, take time to think about that for a moment. 2020 seemed to be a year that would come with insight and foresight into the world with its reference to 2020 vision. But this spring, you were all faced with another unique issue that was unforeseen, a virus that would change your lives forever. My wife and I, who are both ER physicians, have had to deal with the coronavirus for the past several months. We have seen it take its toll on the most vulnerable in society, but it has also impacted people of your age group, leading to death in some cases. That is why there has been a call to take drastic measures that have been unprecedented in the history of our country. Closing down the entire country was something none of us knew could even happen. We have seen people die. We have been called heroes, but only have been doing the jobs that we took an oath when we graduated from medical school. You also have paid a price, having a senior year that was very unexpected. You are a part of history. This is a year no one will ever forget. You were asked to uproot from your campus home that you had been a part of for 4 or 5 or sometimes even 6 years. Students who were off campus during spring break were asked to come back to their permanent address. Yes, moving back in with mom and dad, which I know is probably the hardest part of COVID-19 pandemic. You weren't able to say goodbye to your friends that had been in your classes, your church group, your fraternities and sororities, or on your international students couldn't leave because of travel bans and were displaced from having family support. For others, the support of faculty and the personal contact you had with office hours was now gone by having classes moved online. Those in sports who had entire seasons eliminated after hours and hours of sacrifice at practices. And the 800 plus clubs were now eliminated and had to move and meet via Zoom and Instagram because of the new social distancing that has become the new norm. You were angry, frustrated, sad, and fearful, and yet you endured. You were called to do so in order to protect your friends, neighbors, and relatives. But some good came out of all this. You're alive today because of your efforts. You create a new sense of community with the love and support of those around you. You had time with family, you read books, you went on walks, you really appreciated your home and the important things in life. You have been tested and you passed. Just as all the Bulldog Nation has and always will, you survived. The class of 2020 will be remembered for sure. That's why today it's so important to celebrate your accomplishments virtually on the day that was to have been your graduation. Always remember, you came from a school. I shine at my diploma every day when I walk past it because I cry when I hear Georgia on my mind because I love this university and have created an entire family that loves this place. By attending 5 orientation sessions, I have learned even more about our alma mater. UGA has had an emphasis always on rigorous learning experience both inside and outside the classroom, which now can include online learning. The University of Georgia has been the top producer of Rhodes Scholars over the past 2 decades. UGA is home to hundreds of major scholarship winners, a top 10 honors program, and home to the Peabody Awards. How great is that? You're part of a college that has 21 athletic teams competing as Georgia Bulldogs and are among the most successful in Division I sports. And UGA is the most identifiable college mascot in the country. The university's 17 colleges and schools have produced more than 315,000 alumni living worldwide, and you will be in great company. Acknowledging the fruits of your hard work is totally necessary in these times. The University of Georgia has fostered a tradition of academic excellence and service to others since 1785. For the graduates, you are here at the birthplace of higher education. The University of Georgia tackles some of the world's greatest challenges, from combating infectious diseases such as COVID-19 to coming up with vaccines via research. And did you know that the University's Small Business Development Center, which was established in 1977, was one of the first programs like it in the country, and it's played a major role in helping hundreds of small businesses during the pandemic. The bottom line is this: if you pursue excellence in your life, from the strong foundation you have been given, the financial stability will always follow. That is guaranteed. Parents, know that your young adult is graduating with a degree that continues to be one of the best values of public higher education. The students here are the brightest in the nation. You have worked really hard in order to support and encourage your young adult to finish their studies, and one day they will appreciate you. I'd like to share some wisdom that I've gathered over the years. The past will not always be easy. This is a hard When I was here, I once asked my English teacher if I could receive foreign language credit for it because it was all foreign to me. She didn't think that was too funny. But on a serious note, years ago, I was sitting in the library on a beautiful Saturday in the fall studying biochemistry. I could hear the roar of Sanford Stadium as the football game was going on. I called my dad. He reminded me there were easier ways to make a living, but but that accomplishment and satisfaction of hard work would eventually pay off. He explained, the longer you wait, the bigger the piece of pie. If you wait long enough, you'll own the whole bakery. I knew then and there I could either work hard now or I would have to work hard the rest. I had many, many years of studies ahead of me, but I put my head in the books, and now I can enjoy Saturdays in Athens watching the Bulldogs pounce on their. For the graduates, there are going to be schools, churches, and communities out there that need you one day. As an alumnus, you can make a difference, as Bernard Ramsey and his wife did for the Ramsey Center, or how C. Herman Terry and his wife did for the Terry College of Business. I want to leave you with a challenge. You're going to be doing something. Why not do something great? Do something you can be proud of remembering. And it's okay to take small steps that can make a big difference. A farmer may only plant one kernel of corn, but that corn stalk will produce hundreds of kernels of corn. But if you don't plant the seed in the first place, it'll never grow. In the same way J.K. Rowling so beautifully put it, it is impossible to live without failing at something. Unless you live so cautiously, you might as well not live at all, in which case you fail by default. So put yourself out there, do your best, and always remember you have a family in the Bulldog Nation that will support you in all you do. You have truly made history at the University of Georgia as the first class to virtually graduate. Go ring the bell, and even more, go Dogs.
Thank you for that speech, Dr. Whitehead.
Thank you so much, Dr. Whitehead. Our next speaker is another alumnus of UGA. His name is Dr. Brian Smith, and he was also a former UGA quarterback. Would you please take the podium, Dr. Smith?
Thank you, Ivan. President Moorhead, faculty and staff, and students of the class of 2020, I thank you and am honored for the opportunity to speak. Nick, I appreciate especially you with the invite and our time talking about this as I thought about what's been going on these past several months, and what I would want to say, the word that kept coming to me is perspective. And as I have a daughter that's going to be starting the university in the fall and will be the class of 2024, and I think about my perspective as an 18-year-old coming on campus in 1992, and as a biology major and as a student athlete, is much different than my daughter's perspective will be, or maybe one of y'all's perspectives. Perspective is how we view the world. It's our point of view, and there are many things that impact our perspective. And so what are they, right? Our age impacts our perspective, right? It's as a 46-year-old, I have a different perspective towards retirement than someone who's 18 years old. We have a different perspective than maybe our grandparents would of current events or past events, but our age certainly impacts our perspective. Our education impacts our perspective. Somebody with advanced degrees, or maybe someone who never went to college, and how we view events in the world or things that are happening in our lives can impact our perspective. Time does, right? The time we're living, the time we spend, the amount of time in something that can affect our perspective. Weather can. I mean, there's nothing. Am I back on? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Am I back on?
Yep, you're good.
You're
Okay.
back. You're back.
All right. Sorry about that. A little technical error here. Some of us may enjoy going for a run or exercise, but if we're out of shape and we're not prepared for the run, it could be a miserable run. That affects our perspective, and certainly sleep can affect our perspective. I love what I do, but when I've been up all night, sometimes I'm not as happy as I would be, and my perspective is not the same. And so, as I thought more about perspective and things that can impact our perspective, I wanted us to look at our perspective is not only our point of view and how we see the world, but I think it's important, especially as you guys get ready to graduate, it's how we see our place in the world. And you guys are moving from a role of just participants to a chance to be leaders and changers and people who are actually impactful in our world. So I would challenge you to really pay attention to how you impact the world and your ability to do that. Okay. So now, how do we do that? What are our ways we can impact the world? And I want to talk about 6 things, and I'll sit down. But I think number one, a big way to impact the world, how we should impact the world, is a very strong and confident view of ourselves. Now, that doesn't mean that we need to be arrogant. It doesn't mean that we pound our chest and tell everybody how great we are, but you need to be confident. You need to stand in front of your coworkers and your classmates and feel confident, be confident. And that's not just a mirage, just because you're well educated and you're well prepared. You're young men and women and ready to move forward. Another way that we can, number 2, as far as impacting the world, is realizing that our book's not written, right? You know, you guys are 21, 22, and maybe some younger, some older, but the book is not written. It's not complete, and there are pages to go, and things that maybe you didn't do as well these 4 years in school. It'll change as you get out in graduate school of the real world. But it's not over. These past 22 years do not dictate the next 60 or 80. So the book's not written. Number 3, about how we can impact the world, I think it's important that you have a plan. You know, we can wander aimlessly throughout the forest, but you need a plan. As importantly, with the plan, you need to tell people about it. You know, people that know about it will help. People want to help, and one thing that I've been reminded of during this time is people want to help. People, neighbors, workers, classmates, people want to help. And if nobody knows your plan and you don't ever ask for help, sometimes people may not know that you need help. Okay. 4th way I think we can impact the world, the class of 2020, is it's important that you associate yourself with winners. What I mean is good people, people that challenge you, people that will not hold you back, people that'll chew on you a little bit when you're not doing right, but at the same time will pat you on the butt and say, "That a way to go," when you're doing something well, right? You need those people that'll challenge you and make a difference. Number 5 is sometimes you got to take a chance if you want to impact the world. There's going to be doors that get shut. There're going to be things that you're uncertain about. You may lose sleep about, and that's tough. You know, you seek people that you just got to take a chance. And you sometimes got to take that leap. You know, you pray about it. You seek wise counsel from friends and family. And then sometimes you just got to take a chance, and there's a lot of uncertainty, but that's the challenges. But sometimes it's in situations like that we're most impactful. And finally, when we try to impact the world, at some point you got to land the plane, right? And you've heard that phrase many, many times before, but it's so important because sometimes you got to land the plane. We can talk about it, we can dream about it, we can work on it, but how many times do you see dreams that people don't follow through with, or a project somebody doesn't follow through with? And there's a wise old cardiologist from the Boston area told me back when I was in residency. He said, "Listen, You got to make decisions, right? Sometimes you make good ones and sometimes you make bad ones. But in our world, you have to make decisions. And I know Dr. Whitehead does that every single day in the emergency department. And whether you're in medicine or accounting or business or computers, or coaching or whatever your career is, you got to make decisions, and eventually you got to land the plane. You got to get the wheels on the ground and get it done. So, guys, I want to congratulate you. Listen, your perspective will be different today than it is when you're 50 years old with a child coming through graduation. Your perspective will change. That's going to happen. It'll change with age. It'll change with time, your education, where you live, the experiences that you have in your life. But whether you're 22, 42, 82, you can impact the world. You can make change and make an incredible difference in things. But again, thank you for the time. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Congratulations, class of 2020, and go Dogs.
Thank you so much for that speech. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Smith.
Thank you.
You may take a seat whenever. Thanks again. So, thanks again, Dr. Smith. And our last speaker of the night is a member of the class of 2020 who has volunteered to speak on behalf of their class. Sammy Jandali, would you please take the podium?
Hey guys, President Moorhead, faculty, students, and graduates. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Dr. Smith. Thank you, Dr. Whitehead. And thank you, Nick. And thank you for everyone who built this stadium, who helped with this stadium, who helped build the server, set up everything. It's been like almost like 2 months worth of work and countless hours, countless overnights. Everyone, whoever like collaborated for this. I don't know where to start. This has been like an adventure. I've been in college for 5 years. I've been through 4 universities in 2 different states. And whenever this whole situation started, like, oh, there's gonna be a pandemic and school will be closed. I was like, yeah, it's too good to be true that I'm gonna graduate. Like of course I'm gonna stay like 5 more years probably just because it's too good to be true. I'm not ready, but I'm ready, like starting like a new step in life, starting I'm getting like on a different adventure, longer than this one. Definitely like not 5 years, maybe like another 5, maybe 10. I don't know. Like I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, so I don't know what I'm doing next year. But all I know is I have a job, thanks to my degree that the University of Georgia provided me with the best education. I was able to learn a lot. I was able to get my major and minor and get an amazing job that pays me well, and I'm sure it's going to be like one of the best jobs I'm going to have as an entry level position. I honestly don't have much to say. This is such a unique situation. I always wanted to do like a commencement speech, but this is like a great opportunity to do so, and I'm glad that I was given the opportunity. But I'm gonna keep it short, and this is all I have to say. Thank you again, everyone. Congrats for the graduates. Congrats for everyone who's been through 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 colleges, who's been through different majors, who's been through different who had like difficulties going through college. But hey, you're here, you made it. That's all that matters. Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much,
Thanks a
Sam.
lot.
Yeah, thank you. So that's all that we have for speakers tonight. Names. When I say your name, or when the name comes up on the screen, please step up onto the stage and walk your plate right here, and you will receive your diploma. Is everyone ready? All right, let's begin. And to all the undergraduates who didn't get called, please take a stand. Class of 2020, thank you so much for coming and making it. Has been an incredible experience. I wish you all the best. I hope that you have a wonderful night and a wonderful life. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry for all the technical difficulties, but to all of you who couldn't get called, I thank you too so much. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.
To everybody who showed up today, and especially thank you to all of our speakers. You guys really made this a special event.
Go dog.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs!
Woo!
Good job, Ivan.
I'm passing fireworks.
That is great.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, pass
Got
those.
fireworks.
Oh, we got a hat. So,
Ivan, did Miley's name?
Oh,
That was great.
I guess I'm sorry.